Esports and the hometown heroes, Saints Gaming. Tonight we have myself, Seymour, on the desk, and alongside me is my co-caster, Simo.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game today, especially since this is kind of where everything culminates into one final match. Every single bracket all across the NACE conference are playing their final matches today to kind of decide who plays in the semifinals of the entire thing, and then who gets sent to Atlanta. So if Saints Gaming wins today against Mizzou, they will actually have the opportunity to play right after whoever wins against bracket B.
Yeah, and looking along the Mizzou bracket, they had quite the sweep in their bracket. They had a round one bye and then a 3-0 after that, another 3-0 after that. And looking at Saints, they looked like they were having a little bit of a different. They did have a kind of reverse sweep in their second round, and they swept 3-0 in their third round. So almost similar in the round three, but Mizzou looking like they're having an ease.
Yeah, and I really don't recall off the top of my head what all the different brackets have kind of culminated to. But like I'm going to repeat myself one more time. Whoever wins today gets to play their matches directly after. So if we win, we're going to be here for a really long time, especially if it's game 5. We're going to be here forever. But that means we've got a lot of great action-packed games for you guys here set today. But let's kind of break down this matchup between Saints Gaming and Mizzou, just because I think there's a lot of people that might be interested. But one thing that's super pivotal to note is that you're right. They did sweep through the bracket, but what's worse is that there's such a tough opponent for every team to kind of go ahead.
Yeah, and they're like every team, from what I hear, is scared to play Mizzou. They don't want to play Mizzou because they're just that powerhouse giant of a team. They're just sweeping through everything, and the only game that I know that they've lost is against Aqueous.
It's not that they lost the entire set. They just dropped one map.
Yeah, one map.
Of the set. It was a 3-1 victory for Mizzou, but that's the only time in the entire group stage and in the entire playoff bracket where they even dropped a game. So it's absolutely insane. But to kind of give you a little bit of perspective against what some of the teams have kind of how it's kind of culminated to. So in week 5 and week 7 respectively, Mizzou and Saints Gaming both 3-0'd the Boise State Broncos. So to kind of give you some perspective, Boise State was kind of a little bit of a favorite going in. There's a lot of hype behind the team, but they got absolutely swept by both Mizzou and Saints Gaming. But something to point out to kind of talk a little bit about the skill discrepancy is Mizzou beat Northwood in week 6 3-0, whereas in the last week of group stage, Saints Gaming really struggled and only managed to beat them 3-2. So that skill discrepancy is relatively new and relatively fresh, and we might see that here today.
On top of that struggle to win against Northwood 3-2, Saints struggled to play against even Mizzou. Last time they matched up, the Saints lost 3-0. It was they didn't take a map off of Mizzou, and so that's something we want to see in this matchup. Are they gonna kind of have a repeat, or are we gonna see a whole new team come to this? And I'm pretty excited to see if we get a whole new team here.
Yeah, and something to kind of just know and to touch on is the past 2 weeks of NACE bracket play. We had the 3-2 game against Davenport, where it was super close when it came to which team kind of took home the win, and we almost lost in overtime in game 3. And then just earlier this week, we absolutely swept the Boise State Busters. But now is where all the marbles are kind of culminating into one thing, and it's the most important match. However, the confidence coming in for Saints Gaming has obviously grown over the past few weeks.
You can really see it. Even last week when they were playing against, it was their matchup against, trying to remember the name. It was against Boise State Busters. Yeah,
Busters.
The Boise State Busters. Well, not the Broncos, because I was thinking they were playing the Broncos for a second. But against the Busters, their confidence in their play style, working together, it looked like they were just comfortable. It looked like they were comfortable and they wanted to go beyond. They wanted to make it. They want this, and you can really tell in their play style on Monday, not last week. And I'm excited to see even if what they have to bring against Mizzou, because it looks like the fire is lit underneath them, and not even a tough team like the Busters can take that away.
Yeah, but it's definitely a match that we still have to kind of consider, and there's a lot of things that you don't see from beyond the arc. For us here at the Saints Gaming Studio, there's a lot of things that we see firsthand that kind of not you viewers at home can kind of see and understand, and a lot of the times we'll see really technical issues plague the team throughout, and that could be the difference on of a good day or a bad day. When we beat Boise State, that there were no tech issues. Everything was running smoothly. Everything felt good. I think they were playing from home that day, and we were at
Yeah.
in the other studio in the classroom. But it's days like today that the coach is looking me dead into the eyes, and he's asking me to let him know if he's ready. And yes, Ethan, we are ready to go.
We're ready.
Lock and load, lock it in. We want to get into game. As you can probably hear the little cheering in the background, we're about to hop in.
All right. Game 1, Saints Gaming, Mizzou Esports. Let's hop right in.
Yeah, and I can already see some names that I recognize, and I think Blanks is kind of the one that we should be really looking out for. I recall several weeks prior, the skill from this player was absolutely crazy.
Oh, but Endeavor getting it right over Ethanol and putting a shot on net for Saints Gaming, but it's cleared out pretty easily by Mizzou. And Icy on the offense gets kind of contested and flips it over to Tiberius. Tiberius with a shot on net, but that's chill. Chalks is chilling with the save.
I think somebody told me it's shock or choke or something like that. I don't know, but I'm hoping they choke as Saints Gaming looking to apply some defense to their end zone. But we can see that Mizzou obviously incredibly powerful in their kind of offensive strategy as they're pumping into that zone here. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge that goes over to the way of Saints Gaming, and they're going to clear it back out to try to get it over to Mizzou's side. But the pass over, and Endeavor's looking for the shot, but it's not going to quite connect.
Icy with the pass to Endeavor doesn't get off, but we see Tiberius on the defense clearing it for his team. He's getting back into positioning, goes up for it. It's kind of like a two-person commit to get it out, but let's hope that doesn't punish St. Clair in the end game. We see a shot towards the net for Mizzou, but it's wide and it's cleared out by St. Clair. So Blanks just barely missing, and over we see Ethanol up in the air, kind of going up for the ceiling shot, whiffs off of it, but that's Chalks kind of making sure that it's on the offense. And Icy going for the ball right now. Icy is a player that I want to talk about and a player I want to focus on because he has been really the rookie player and he's been on fire for the Saints.
Yeah, and you know, we kind of have to see this play being set up here by Shocks to not only mention that the Mizzou lineup is fierce and a force to be reckoned with, absolutely, but you can kind of see this game has so far been a little bit of a stalemate between both teams. And if I'm Saints Gaming, that's what I want right now. Being up against kind of this David versus Goliath story, you can kind of see that Mizzou is not as big as they seem, and you can see Saints Gaming finding opportunities to at least apply some pressure.
Endeavor and Icy working towards getting it inside Mizzou's half, but that's Chalks right up top, putting a shot off net, and oh, Tiberius out of nowhere with the save. Icy demoing Blanks, so we're going to see Blanks off the board for a second, and Icy in possession of it, kind of tries to get it out, but the pressure of Blanks is too hard right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a shot on net. Wow, slipping one right through. As we see Shocks with the hero play, Tiberius looking for that defense, but passes right into the open arms of Shocks as he finds one in the bottom left corner and starts this game off hot with a 1-point lead.
That goal was just so smooth. It was just well placed and taking advantage of the mistake from St. Clair, kind of just putting it out of their reach and overcommitting to something that's not available for them. Icy on the offense, contesting this nice 50-50 off Ethanol, but Ethanol's able to recover it and get the ball up in the air. Endeavor following it up, keeping the pressure on for his team, and we see Tiberius just backing up a bit. Ethanol going for the shot, keeping it high, setting up his teammate, but doesn't make it as we see Icy drop it down into the corner. Shots back and forth, kind of contesting one after the other. Blanks with the shot on net, misses everybody and nobody is there. It's 2-0 for Missouri.
Yeah, you can see here the setup play from Shocks was to pass it over, and then Blanks was in the right place at the right time. Endeavor kind of swings that one with a miss, and that's not going to really feel too good for Saints Gaming as they're kind of trying to find their footing in this game, and it's feeling like a repeat of Week 10 in the group stage where they got absolutely swept. They started off the round, there is 2 minutes left, but they started off the round kind of hot and played really, really good defense. But Mizzou, on the backs of Blanks, Shocks, and Ethanol, they've been doing a phenomenal job. Just like these pocket picks with Blanks coming in hot, finding one in the corner, and you can see he weaves through the defenders, hops, skips, and jumps himself into a shot on net, and that's going to be a 3-0 lead here so far in this first game.
Over and over again, we see Blanks making such good offensive plays, and you talked about it at the start that he's a player that we want to look at. He's a player that's been like kind of like high skilled. Even from week 10, we got to see him up against Saints, and he was just kind of like, he's on a rampage to make sure that he's known as the best player in the league right now. Maybe.
Ooh, shot on net from Tiborius, going to be a little bit too close for comfort. Endeavor passes it over. That's going to be Icy Vivid trying to get that challenge, but Blanks wins that one. Open net as Blanks finds one, sends it home. And this is looking like this first game is going to go over to Mizzou quite clearly.
Yeah, we got a minute left, just over a minute left in the game. Mizzou's up 4-0. Saints really got to pull it together. Maybe they want to get a few goals off the board, get some confidence in, roll it in. So let's see them put something together. Let's see the team play come out, because that team play is something that was really shown last week that I want to see shown this week, and it doesn't seem like it's connecting.
Yeah, and it's gonna have to be off the bat on the backs of plays like that. Tiborius in the air trying to get that defense shot on net, but Tiborius is gonna be there yet again to save the shot. Blanks looking for that open man with Ethanol, and he passes it right through, finds the needle right through the thread, and gets that shot on net. Beautiful play, weaving through the defenders and finding the open man, passing it through and getting that shot. That's got to feel really, really, demoralizing for Saints gaming. That's not going to be too good.
Yeah, it's not something you want to get dunked on right above your whole team just sitting there, but it's mistakes like the triple commit we saw inside their net for all three of them to go up and try to get the goal, or to get the save, sorry. It's just, it puts them in positions like that, but we see the misplay from Blanks and Tiberius, the pinch right into the net, so that's a goal for St. Clair. We get to see one on the board.
Yeah, look at this phenomenal play as he finds his way right through the defending line, and he opens up the game, at least for them to start to develop some confidence going into game 2, 3, 4, 5, however long we're going to be here for. Yeah. And it's plays like that you gotta, like, if this game's a wash already now, it's 30 seconds left, 5-1. Can you at least start to set up some confident plays and show that you're a team to be reckoned with?
Well, Endeavor trying it right there. We see the fancy footwork in the air. Well, footwork, tire work, kind of something, and gets them going to, like you said, put some confidence into that second game. But for sure, if I was St. Clair, I'd be looking to that second game already. As just Missouri not letting go of that pressure. They want it going right to the end.
Ooh, can they send this one down? Icy Vivid has the ball in control. Shock's going to be the man to try to stop that through, and we're going to go right back to the caster cam. Look at our beautiful faces and kind of dissect what happened through that game. They have a couple of minutes to themselves to kind of digest and figure out what's going to be the next play. But I think if you're Saints gaming, you're taking that one shot on net that you managed to make it through, and you're thinking about the next game. Where can you find that confidence? Where can you find those passing plays and solidifying on that open man and getting through the defensive line in order to get more shots on net and in order to get more conversions from kind of those capitalization plays.
And in order to do that, you got to look at that goal that they got. What did you do to get that goal? You see the mistakes you made. But you got to focus on the good things that they were doing. They were putting that pressure on. Like at the start, we saw that 0-0 contention for like quite a bit of time. And in the meantime, when they had that, they were putting on a lot of good pressure to Mizzou. They were not making them feel comfortable. They were not just setting them up for success. They were putting the fight to Mizzou, and they have to continue with that for the whole 5 minutes. They can't just do that for the short time that they did and give up. We have to see that pressure the whole time.
And we're starting things off here with that next game. Shocks was the 50-50 open net, but it hits right off the post. Endeavor finds the control with the ball, and Blanks is looking to stop that advancement as Tiborius Superman flies through. Now he's in the air, upside down. Icy Vivid looking for that shot on net, but it's just going to be a strong defense from Mizzou as they take control back of the ball in the end zone.
Something I want to point out is that we see Icy off the Batmobile right now. He's got the Octane in hand, so maybe just a little bit of preference up against Mizzou. He doesn't want to play that kind of long extension of a car that the Batmobile is.
Yeah, I saw him practicing with it earlier, but that might have just been kind of like a team call. Hey, we need you on the Octane, and you can see the Octane coming out from Blanks as the adrenaline's pumping from game one. Finds the shot. That's going to be the boost, the aerial play, and this guy is just a force to be reckoned with. And I don't even think it's like a Saints gaming thing. I think everybody in the league is afraid of this guy.
And who were the Saints had a scrim earlier today, and in that scrim, the team that they were playing, they wanted to help Saints out. They wanted to, like, hey, how can we make you more comfortable against this powerhouse team that Mizzou is, because we don't even want to face them. So across the board, we see that Mizzou's putting a name for themselves. They are that kind of like monster. Right here,
wow.
We see Blanks trying to go for the double touch off the backboard, but not able to connect with a goal. Icy getting the shot off, but a little bit wide. Blanks is there in goal.
Ooh, Endeavor's looking to set something up. That's going to be Ethanol with the defense. Here comes Icy Vivid flying through, but manages to miss the open man. Tiborius will be the open man that finds it instead. And that's just going to be sent back to the St. Clair end zone as Icy Vivid's looking for the defense. But it's not going to be enough. The aerial play, Chalks beats him to the punch, but Endeavor's there to support his teammate as Blanks passes over to Ethanol. Goes to Shocks instead. And this is just a little bit of a scramble of a fight here in the end zone, as you see both teams scrambling for control.
And this is what we like to see. We like to see that scramble. We like to see St. Clair making Mizzou uncomfortable, but now they have to focus on getting out of their zone. So here's step one, but Ethanol is there. Great a way to put the offense back on for his team. Endeavor off the backboard, dropping it down, but Blank centering it for teammates. Shot off the backboards. Is there a third? No, he's not there. Tiberius now on the offense.
Here's going to be the offensive play here coming out from St. Clair, but it's not going to be enough as it gets pushed back into their zone. Blanks off the ceiling, looking for a passing play. Icy Vivid. Shocks manages to get that kind of control for his team, and that's going to be the Tiborius coming in, trying to get some contention out here. And you can see the entire roster of Saints Gaming is trying to dogpile onto this ball and try to get some control, at least for their team, but it's going to be a little bit rough as we see the collection of Mizzou's team pushing on through, but Shocks just passes it over to Blanks as they're looking for an opportunity in, but it's going to be a little bit tough for St. Clair to defend this.
I want to see some life come out from St. Clair, and we have to see it soon. Like, they're only down by one. This is still doable. Icy with the contestant just getting right up in Blanks' face, making sure he can't score it. That was a nice save, so now we see Endeavor trying to set up a play, but Ethanol, that supporting player on Mizzou, just getting it through. Icy with the clean save, making sure that goal doesn't come out. Nice demo on Shocks. So Icy is going to be out, and let's see how they can go on this offense.
That's going to be Shocks here. Tiborius finds the control on the ball. Ethanol going to be passing it down center. A little bit of a challenge there between Blanks and Endeavor. Endeavor wins that one, goes over to Icy Vivid. He's looking for the pass onto play. Tiborius sends it right down. Ethanol there with the defense. Blanks there as well to support it through, and it's going to be too close for comfort for Mizzou, but not quite enough as they start to get control and send it back down as they're looking for their offensive play of their own. And you can see St. Clair starting to play a little bit more further up.
But that's
going to be rough as Shocks finds the corner. And let's have a quick look at this replay.
That was a rough one right there. You see finally St. Clair found their footing for an offense, but instantly just flipped on the dime, and open net Missouri goes up 2-0. Just unfortunate play, but that was just, it's such good heads up to see how controlled this team is, how the communicate. I want to hear what the comms are, because they must be just so calm and collected.
Yeah, it's really would be kind of like a sight to see what is kind of going on with this Mizzou lineup. Every single time St. Clair's tried to play aggressive, it's gone a little bit too close for comfort, but not quite enough. As we can see Blanks here with the demo, that's going to give him the opening, passes it over to Shocks, open man, Endeavor with the backflip, not going to be quite enough for Mizzou to capitalize on. Sends it back down, open man right into the net, but Shocks here with the defense, going to get Shocks. Oh, he's everywhere. This guy's everywhere, but it's actually just Ethanol kind of looking a little bit too similar for Shocks, and you can see he's up in the air looking for that pass over to somebody else, and Icy Vivid manages to get control of the ball. Shocks here with the open man and sends it right through. 3-0 start here, rather 3-0 finish here coming out from Mizzou. 40 seconds left. It's going to be a little bit rough for catching up for Saints Gaming.
Let's take a look back a couple weeks and look at that Davenport game. Look at the game one, game two, a little bit rough for St. Clair, so maybe they're trying to find their feet once again. Maybe we can have some hope. They might be looking for this third game already. Start that reverse sweep. And what can they do though? Like what do we want to see from them? Like personally, I want to see them start like taking their they're going for it, but they're going like two at a time to get up for it. They're going 2 or 3 players at a time. They're They're not like, it doesn't seem like they trust each other to get to it.
Yeah, you know what I really think it is that Saints Gaming really does have kind of this crutch where they need to warm up. And as much as they can, scrim other teams, but when they're actually playing against their opponent, it's kind of like similar to some teams in whatever esport you watch, where they need to kind of warm up against their opponent, figure out kind of what are those, bumps and ridges that they kind of need to get over. And then like you said, it's like that Davenport game. The first 3 games, what was going on in their head? And then kind of the reverse sweep started to happen. We've got 2 seconds left here, but this game is as good as done. The 50-50, obviously Endeavor is just kind of letting that game go through. But this third game will be the deciding match for Saints Gaming. Could they reverse sweep? Could they turn it around? Or will it be on the backs of Mizzou and Blanks kind of pushing on through and cleaning up?
Yeah, their tournament life is decided right here. Can they make that offensive push and control that offensive push? Or because right now we see that offensive push start to kind of develop, and almost instantaneously we see Mizzou just kind of take it right back into their control. And so we really have to see how St. Clair can take advantage of those offensive plays that they are able to start. They just can't control.
One thing I absolutely have to mention is the Batmobile is coming out for Icy Vivid. We are going to see things kind of shake up. Things are going to start moving around. Things are going to start developing for the Saints Gaming roster. And it was on the backs of Icy Vivid that Davenport game was swept right underneath their feet. And we will see that here. I'm hoping that, like you said, Saints Gaming has a little bit more life kind of injected in them, maybe with this Batmobile or maybe kind of with clear communications or something. But this is an uphill battle nonetheless.
It's a definite uphill battle. And if we look at something like the RLCS, the Batmobile used by like one famous name, Fireburner. And what's the opposite of fire?
Icy.
Ice is the opposite. So we see the opposite end is Icy Vivid on that Batmobile. And he was such a carry factor in that game, that third game in Davenport. He really turned the tides for St. Clair, and he really, and it's not even like their gameplay wasn't even just fire. Their comms were fire.
Yeah.
Everything was just electric on the side of St. Clair, and it's kind of quiet right now.
Yeah, you see this? Look at this aggression starting things off. I know it's just 50 seconds in, but Tiborius finds one right through the open man. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Tiborius comes through, flying in like Superman, weaves through the defenders, and finds the open shot on net. Let's go, Saints Gaming. We've got ourselves a match.
15 seconds. Quickest goal this series. And right away, we see Endeavor putting the aggression on off the 50-50, but Blank's trying to follow up with a shot, and that's Icy Vivid in net with a beautiful save. Followed up by Ethanol. He's putting the backboard shot out, trying to center it for his teammate, but there we see Endeavor kind of getting the double touch off the ground, setting up Icy. Icy's flying through the air, trying to clear it, but just the Blanks with those passes, just so precise.
Ooh, you can see St. Clair is hungry. You could just tell by their movements. This is a different team altogether, and I think it might be on the backs of the Batmobile. And you can see that they're playing a little bit more aggressive, but still, Mizzou is a top team, and they're still playing in the end zone, playing quite aggressively up against that Saints Gaming team. And you can see the defense is just stalemated right back to game 1 and 2. They're kind of stuck in their corner, boost being stolen away. And can Saints Gaming get out of this kind of crutch?
Well, one crutch you like to see when you're getting boost stolen is the pace that you can kind of avert the game to. You want to slow it down. You want to like kind of keep the ball out of the air. That's one thing you want to do when you don't have the boost. So how is St. Clair going to get it out just like that? Icy on the Batmobile, putting it out of his zone, kind of just getting his team out of a tough position. Right away, we see Chalks and Ethanol putting a shot off, centered for Blanks. Blanks getting the rebound, but Endeavor with the save.
Wow.
What a play out from him. Chalks from above, trying to get that Superman toss down, but doesn't put it in for his team, and Saints holding on to that 1-0 lead.
That's going to be Icy Vivid on the backs of the Batmobile. He's in the end zone. This team's trying to set something up. Tiborius in the air off the backboard, but Ethanol is going to be there for the defense. And they're going to try to recenter it back out, push it back into the Saints Gaming end zone, but that's not going to be if Icy Vivid doesn't have something to say about that. And you can see that the stalemate's kind of brought back over to the midfield, and we're going to see the offense here coming out. Shocks with the shot on net, and he finds one through.
That's a tie game.
Beautiful
wait,
play there. You could see
Ethanol.
there was no one there with the defense. There was no boost. Icy Vivid tried to go for the dive, but right there finds the pocket, finds the shot on net, and you're right. We've got a tie game.
That was Ethanol all off the back of him. He jumped up and got that double touch off the backboard to set up Shocks. It wasn't like Shocks was there, yeah, but that double touch by Ethanol was so crucial. And speaking of Ethanol, that's another goal for Missouri, and they're up 2-1 right away.
Wow, absolute splash coming out from Ethanol, and you could hear it even in the shot on net.
I didn't even see that, but
Yeah.
I was like, anyways, off the kickoff, we see Endeavor up against Blanks, 50-50 off to the side. Icy trying to put the pressure on. Ethanol's there, though, to stop it.
Yeah, you can see that the Mizzou team still has kind of their sea legs underneath them. Shots left, right, and center. As this team just can't be stopped, not even if you switch to the Batmobile. St. Clair's secret weapon, not enough to kind of, to keep up with this Mizzou roster, but we still have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. That still means that there's an opportunity to make some shots back, play some aggression, and try to find those offensive plays.
We see Icy in the air, getting it towards the net. Blanks is there, though, to follow up with that, and we see nobody in net right now. We see that it's kind of like the rotations of St. Clair aren't there. Ty Burris with the last-minute save, keeping his team down by 2, but let's see that that offense start to take place. Once again, in talks, the name Blanks coming up all the time. He's always there for to stop St. Clair right now.
You know what I really think I've been seeing from this Mizzou roster? It's really just Blanks and Shocks playing so forward up. Ethanol's been the back, playing in the back for his team. And, you know, that member for Saints Gaming is Tiborius. But when Tiborius is the one that's constantly having to save the net, there's no one to play that defense. And you can see Tiborius isn't even there, not even anywhere. Oh, he tries to go for the defensive play, but it's not going to be enough. And you can see that Mizzou is just has Saints Gaming number today.
It just seems like they're just constantly picking apart the play style of St. Clair. Like, they know how St. Clair is going to play, and they know how to just make them feel uncomfortable. And you really see, like, for example, Tiberius has to go forward a little bit. He has to make sure that they put that offense on. But in the meantime, nobody else is ready to kind of take that defensive spot that he usually is in.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a rough one. Shocks finds to send one down through. Icy Vivid going to be there with the defense. Demo coming out from Endeavor. Can they capitalize on this? Not too sure. Shocks and Ethanol now here. Blanks back on the board. Passes it over, but not going to be quite clear enough. Banks passes over to Ethanol, looking for the shot on net, and that's going to be an absolute splash. Again, one more for Ethanol, but that's got to feel not too good for Saints Gaming.
Yeah, another splash dunk. It's not slam dunk, splash dunk. Coming out from the player of Missouri, that is Ethanol, and he is just nonstop. He's just nonstop in the face of St. Clair. And here we see Tiberius putting it up off the air. They got a minute, 10 seconds to put 4 goals on just to make it to overtime. And this right here is make or break for St. Clair. They have to just start putting on the wheels if they want anything to happen.
Yeah, this train does look like it's a little bit too far from the station, as University of Missouri is, in some cases a literal time zone ahead in this case, and it shows here with the 5-1 matchup here as we're nearing the end of the game, and Mizzou just had Saints Gaming numbered the entire time, and it's something that you kind of have to go back and rethink. What was it that we did wrong? What was it that could have been improved on? Or was Mizzou just that good?
Oh, Mizzou just looks like sometimes that they are just that good. Like,
ooh, wow.
From like what I see, like people talking about, it's just like Mizzou is even in the other leagues just a top contender. Not even just in NACE. They're just a top contender, putting goals on their own net. But that's the only time they get scored on usually, is when they put goals on their own net.
Yeah, you can see Icy Vivid with the partial shot on net, but it really is just Mizzou playing like absolute dogs to a bone. They're just going on that ball no matter what, and that's where the aggression comes from, right? They never quit, they never stop, and they just keep taking everything. When you give them an inch, they take a mile. And with 6 seconds remaining, it's a little bit kind of sad to see Saints Gaming will not be moving on in the NACE conference bracket. That does not mean that the CSL season is just kind of starting and kind of getting underway. But the NACE conference dream is kind of over here for Saints Gaming. It's a little bit disheartening to see. We saw the run that they went through. The game against Davenport was an absolute beauty to watch. We had the Boise State Busters got absolutely slapped with
They
the
got
8-2 finish in game 2. Beautiful gameplay for the past couple weeks, but Mizzou just had Saints Gaming number every single game.
this looks like a team that's ready to fly to Atlanta and take that championship. It really looks like a team that's ready to just take off and transcend collegiate esports. Like they look like they're ready for our LCS in my opinion. That play style was just unbelievable.
Yeah, to be fair, it really was on the backs of Blanks and sometimes Shocks, and of course Ethanol had a few shots of his own. But Blanks really is the superstar, and it's kind of like that. Like, what happened in League of Legends G2 relatively like not too long ago is that they had a superstar mid laner in Perks, and then he moved to the bot lane and they got a superstar Caps. What Mizzou could really do is just get another superstar defenseman and replace Ethanol. That's obviously not going to happen, but they could kind of build a superstar roster all around kind of this Blanks player who's been playing out of his mind.
So yeah, and on talking about some more Rocket League, this isn't the end. This isn't the end for St. Clair Rocket League. They still have their other league, the Star League,
The CSL,
the
yeah.
CSL Star League. So we'll still be able to see them play in that league, and they're ready to take on anything that comes there. That run from them has been quite the journey. It's just been tons of just keep on showing that they get better every time. Sadly, they hit the wall that is Mizzou. Mizzou is just a monster.
Once the boost is gone, any room for offensive plays are just completely gone.
Yeah.
And that is where Saints Gaming really struggled, as Mizzou's offense was ridiculous. In fact, it's that constant meme: your best defense is a good offense, is an even better offense. And in the case of Mizzou, they really didn't really need much offense. They had a defensive lineman in Ethanol, but it really wasn't needed. In fact, he was playing so far forward, he was almost in the net sometimes.
He had quite a bit of goals too.
Yeah, he had 2 goals in that last game there to his name. But we're gonna kind of wrap it up here for the day. It's a little bit disheartening to see, but Saints Gaming still did have a really good run. The last 2 weeks were phenomenal for the team. They played really well, but of course, just today Mizzou had their number. We want to take a moment to quickly thank our sponsors for kind of helping out us put this stream together and everything that Saints Gaming does. Big shout out to DX Racer, the chairs that we're currently sitting in. Subway Canada, PC Outlet, everything that the St. Clair College and the Alumni Association does for us, as well as the Zekelman School of Business. And last but definitely not least, the SRC for kind of providing us with this space to do the magnificent things that we do and for our rosters to compete. But this has been a really good cast with myself, Simo, and of course my co-commentator, Seymour. I think that'll wrap up our commentary season, but you will see me at Atlanta as I will be commentating the very grand finals of the NACE conference. But that'll be it for us, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys have a good evening, and we'll see you guys next time.